Well, hello friends, and welcome to another colour along. Today we are colouring from Tiny Tales, Volume 1. And we've chosen this page from the Animals section of Tiny Tales Volume 1 with this soldier marmoset who's saluting and a little snail shepherd mouse. And I thought I'd start off today with some Polychromos. And I am going to bring in two colours. I've got a bluish turquoise and a Prussian blue, and I'm going to give him a lovely blue jacket. I'm going to start with a lighter colour. Now this little guy, I think is from, if my memory serves me correctly, is from a page out of Lost in Time, which is a Mr. Fogarty colouring book. I'm going to bring in my Prussian blue now. And I think Mr. Fogarty bumps into this guy in the ballroom of the Sun King. And back to my bluish turquoise. And here's the Prussian blue. I'm going to do that same colour combination for his hat. So I'm going to bring in a bluish turquoise. And this little guy just makes me laugh. He's so earnest. And bringing in our Prussian blue. Now I'm going to bring in this colourless blender. just to help blend those pencils a little bit. I love doing this. Not as much as I love doing it to Dough Inktense, because their colours go nuts, but this just sort of takes away all the little white texture that's going on. All right, I'm very happy with that blue. I'm going to bring in some reds now. So this is a dark red, and I think his cuffs should be red. I'm just going to begin with that dark red and then move to this deep scarlet red. And the same with this cuff. The dark red and the deep scarlet red. And I think one of these feathers needs to be red. And I think also I'm going to give him a red sash. With the dark red and then the deep scarlet red. I think this little cravat thing could also do well in red. Now, I love colouring in all sorts of mediums in these Tiny Tales books because they're just fun and quick. All right, I'm going to start playing with the fur on this guy. I'm going to kick it off with a green gold. And then I'm going to bring in a burnt ochre. And then going even darker with a burnt umber. And then once again I'm going to bring in my colourless blender. I'm going to bring in another colour. This is a light yellow ochre. I just really want his underbelly to be nice and light. And then I'm coming back to my green gold. I'll put some of that green gold on his toes. I'm going to bring in some brown ochre. And I do want a little bit of that burnt umber. I'm just going to keep building these colours up slowly. I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to bring back in my colourless blender. All right, back to our light yellow ochre. A little hand there. And the tips of that hands. All right, and then we're going to get back to the green gold. The brown ochre. All right, let's move on to the face. So I've got this light yellow ochre again. I'm going to stay light around this little whisker nose area. Going to give him some light eyebrows as well. And I think he's going to have some sort of light stripes around his cheeks. And then back in with the green gold. Here's our brown ochre. And then a nice dark burnt umber, just to really pop some shadows in there. And I'm going to blend that a little bit. This is Cold Grey 3. And I'm going to give him some metal on his sword here. This is Cold Grey 5. What do we have here? Rose Carmine. A rose carmine nose for our little dude. Just going to add a little bit of that colour into his cheeks. Or what cheeks are they? Whatever that area of a marmot is. I might put some around his eyes as well. Alright, Cold Grey 2. Just want to add a little bit of a differentiation between, I guess it's a bit of shadow on this white shirt underneath the white part of that jacket. I'm going to continue with that grey colour on one of these feathers. And then I think the bluish turquoise that we used on his uniform, we're going to give one of the feathers. It's got red, white and blue feathers. I think that's appropriate. Once again, we're just blending. Our burnt umber's coming back. I'm going to do the grip of our sword in that burnt umber. Gold ink. Look at all these buttons and things. I'm not going to leave those. I'm going to make them gold. Even these parts of the sword I think are going to work really well with gold ink. And certainly his epaulets are going to be gold. You know, I'm sort of regretting that I didn't give this guy any little medals. I think I'm going to give him a gold piping around his hat rather than leave it white. Now I can't resist, guys. I've brought out my alcohol markers. This is a really light green. It's a colour called Mignonette. I'm just going to give him a little bit of a background. Just like a little oval around him, so he's like a cameo. This is light phthalo green, and I'm just going to make it a little bit sharper. Just trying to bring a bit of a vignette into that background so that he's sort of glowing green. All right, I think he's very sweet. I'm going to move on to our little shepherd snail thing. Now, let's start with our snail shell. This is our light yellow ochre. I just want to get those highlight areas of this shell. And then I'm going to bring in our green gold. I'm going to colour in line with the sort of shape of the shell. So those lines help reinforce the shape of the shell. There's our brown ochre. Now burnt umber. I really want to get that into the shadow crevices. And I'm going to bring my colourless blender in. I'm going to use my fat nib. I'm bringing my burnt umber back in. I think a colourless blender washed it all out. I'm going to bring this light phthalo green we used here, and I think his hat needs to be very bright and green. Looks like he should be yodeling in some hill somewhere, doesn't it? And I'm going to bring in some chrome oxide green fiery. Goodness, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Deep scarlet red. And our dark red. We're going back to the light yellow ochre. And some of that burnt umber. And I'm going to bring in this one we used before, Rose Carmine. Give him a pink little nose. I also want to give him just a touch of pink on his snout and a little bit of pink around his eyes and in his ears, or her ears. And I think some little pink hands. What do you think? I think I'm also going to throw in a pink tail there. I'm bringing in some warm greys. This is warm grey 1 for a little mouse here. This is a warm grey 3. Right, I got the burnt umber. I'm going to give him a nice burnt umber stick with a bit of brown ochre thrown in for fun. Right, this is a colour called earth green, and I'm thinking of doing that colour for our little snail, for his skin. I'm going to put a bit of green gold and mix it together a little bit. Back to our earth green. And I think I'll blend that. And I'm going to bring back that warm grey 3 and just add a little bit of shadowing on our white parts of our little celebratory cap here. And I think we have do some sort of cloud-shaped background with our same colour. What colour is this? Is Mignonette. It's just a really light green, but you could use like a really light blue or some sort of nice pastel of anything really. And I'm going to bring back our light phthalo green just to highlight our characters in that cloud as we did for the top one. All right, I've been wanting to do this. This is a 0.2 fine liner, and I just want to put some whiskers on this guy. I don't know, I just think it gives him a little bit more panache, a little bit more style. All right, I have a white jelly roll here, and I want to add in some little highlights. Not too many highlights, just a little bit. And just if you're wondering, I did have some sheets of paper beneath that page to protect the one behind it. Well, I think we're done. I hope you've enjoyed colouring with colour pencils today. Broke out the Polychromos, but I couldn't resist a little bit of alcohol marker. And I think we've done them proud. Two little rodentias, one who's a shepherd, one who's a soldier. Another great page, another fun page from Tiny Tales. Nice and quick, but a whole lot of fun. We've done a few, or at least one. I think the others are back behind that I've done in this book. Well, once again, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the colour along today, and I'm going to say goodbye for now, but no doubt I shall see you in another video. I'll see you later, guys.